Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to Mark's Music Catalogue, Pod, TV, whatever I want to call it. Okay, the album I'm going to talk about this time is this one, Sparks. Now, I think most people have probably heard of Sparks in one form or another. They've been around about 40 years now, and they have first had a hit back in 1972, I think, with the This Town Ain't Big Enough for Both of Us. And then they sort of drifted off. They had a couple of other hits, Amateur Hour, Looks, a couple of others, but they seemed to then suddenly disappear. And then they bumped into, or they heard, I should say, Donna Summer's I Feel Love, which, of course, as we know, was a massive worldwide disco anthem of the 1970s. Real pure electronic genius. And, of course, the Mail brothers heard this and thought, this is a new sound we could come out with. And it was a very wise move, to be honest. They got in touch with Giorgio Moroder, who was the producer of I Feel Love. And now, Giorgio Moroder, you've probably heard of Giorgio Moroder. For those who haven't, he's a big record producer. He went into retirement for a little while, and then he came back and he was on the last Daft Punk album, doing a little bit of monologue to one of their songs. Very good song, actually. Anyway, they got in touch with Giorgio, who agreed to produce them, and they came up with this little beauty. It's called Number One in Heaven. Now, the album itself didn't do very well, to be honest with you. I think it made about number 73 in the charts back in 1979, which is when it was released. But the singles, they did seem to do a little bit better, so it was a wise move. I believe the biggest hit was probably Beat the Clock, which made number 10. I think it was their first top 10 hit since about 1972, I think. And then after that, a couple more songs were released off the album. They did very well in Europe, all around, and also did quite well in the dance charts in the States back in those days. So yes, it was produced by Giorgio Moroder, and the songs that were reissued from it, I believe, were the number one song in Heaven, which is the title track, of course. You had Tryouts for the Human Race, which is actually about sperm. True. You look at the lyrics. It's actually about sperm. Anyway, and I believe yes, La Dolce Vita was released. I don't know if it was released in this country or not. I know it was released in Europe, but not sure about this country. And of course, Beat the Clock. Yes. So it's an early electronic album from 1979. It's a good album. I mean, I remember back in the 1980s when I eventually got around to buying it, when I had myself a paper round and I could get some money to afford these things. I remember buying it, I remember playing it a lot. And I do remember it's a sort of album, because it's electronic music, you want to play it loud. If you do play it, headphones, or if you don't upset the neighbours. The first track, one of the highlights for me, is the very first track, Tryouts for the Human Race. It's got a superb drum work. Excellent drum work. I can't remember who the drummer is. I really should study these things before I come on here. But do have a listen for that one. Of course, we all know Beat the Clock. So yeah, it's a good album. It's a great album, in fact. And yes, it certainly went with the times. I think it was a very wise move, a brave move for the Mail brothers. But I don't think it damaged their career too much. If anything, I think it probably boosted their career a little bit, certainly in the electronic dance charts of that particular time. So yeah, okay, give it a listen. You never know, you might like it. I think that's it, isn't it? No, I can't think of anything else. No, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye. I'll see you next time.